So we're going to start off with describe a time when you had a disagreement with your manager at your last job.
So at my last job, there was a time where I needed more hours because I needed more money to make rent. So I needed those hours, but my manager needed to cut hours. So I was one of the ones that got cut. So I went to her and I talked to her and I brought it up very respectfully, and I talked to her about it, and we came to a good conclusion that helped both of us.
I was going to ask what you did about it, but you answered for me. Thank you. Next question. Give me an example of a time when you had to go above and beyond to get a job done.
So at my last job, there was a lot of work to do during football season, because it was at a college football clothing store. So there would be 10, 12 boxes each day full of stuff to fold, put out, and count. And there were a lot of times where I had to stay late to do all of that. So I would stay late 30 minutes, an hour, trying to finish all of them.
So doing work, okay. That's good. Tell me about a time when you organized a meeting that was successful.
So at my last job, I put together all of the monthly meetings. So I would figure out the agenda, what we needed to talk about, make sure everybody knows when it is, make sure to remind everybody when it's coming, a week, like a couple days, like the day of, like when they needed to be there and where they needed to be.
Okay, so what was the most stressful situation you have faced?
Oh, so like I said, I worked at a football clothing store. So that homecoming, there were so many people there because there were alumni, their kids, and their whole family. They had all brought down to see the homecoming game, and everybody went to that store. So there were 15 of us working, 4 registers going, like we were doing as much as we could. And a few of us, myself included, were running around trying to restock everything and asking people if they need help and checking people out when they needed it. And it was just, there were so many people and it was just crazy.
So how did you deal with that?
So I made sure to take a second and calm down and take a deep breath before I talked to everybody, and just gave myself a second to cool off, and then I went back and did what I needed to do.
Okay. All right. Give me an example of how you worked effectively with other people.
So we needed to have a meeting or a group to plan these meetings, so I was part of that group. And we all had to figure out a day that worked for everybody, and what we needed to get beforehand, and who's going to make the agenda and find out what we need to do, and who's going to run the meeting, and who's going to keep the minutes, and make sure we stay on track.
Okay. Do you have any experience doing payroll?
Yes, I do. I did payroll at my last job.
What program did you use?
We use ADP payroll, so it was an online, and
similar to ours. It's good. It's good. In this job, there could be a lot of conflicting deadlines. Could you tell me about a time where you had a lot to do at the same time?
So at my old job, we would have the boxes and boxes of shirts and stuff to fold. We would have to do all of these at least by the end of the night. And then we would have multiple days where we need to do more and more boxes when they came. So we would have more boxes coming while we were still folding some. So we would have to work that in so we could get all of them done.
Okay. Have you ever trained a new employee?
Yes, I have.
And what was your training style?
So I had them follow me for a couple hours for their first shift and teach them how to check people out and what to do when you approach people.
So shadow them, basically?
Mm-hmm. And then once they got a little bit more comfortable, I would let them do a little bit more by themselves. And then once they got confident enough, they could do it on their own.
Have you ever worked in a situation where the rules or guidelines weren't clear?
So at my current job right now, I have to put stuff out, products out, and they don't really tell me where to put them or what kind of sections there are, so I really have to take the initiative to find somewhere where it would belong and where it would look the best.
How did you feel about it?
I didn't really like it. I like to have certain places where certain things go and know where everything goes, because I feel like I would get in trouble if I put it in the wrong place. So I would like to know.
Okay. The point of sale system we use is Square. What systems have you used, and are you familiar with Square?
So at my first job we used Run It, and then at my current job now we use Square. So I'm pretty proficient in Square.
Okay, good.
Right, and then I have some questions for you.
Okay.
What are the prospects for growth and advancement in this job? How would you describe a typical day or week in this position? And are there any other questions I can answer for you?
No, that's good.
Thank you.